Now we shall discuss the clause 9, performance evaluation of the standard. Clause 9 has three subclauses. Subclause 9.1, monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation. Subclause 9.2, internal audit. Subclause 9.3, management review. Let me begin with clause 9.1, monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation. The subclause 9.1.1 general states that the organization is required to determine what needs to be monitored and measured along with the methods for monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation needed to ensure valid results. Clause 9.1.1 says that the organization is required to determine when the monitoring and measuring shall be performed and when the results from monitoring and measurement shall be analyzed and evaluated. As per this subclause, the organization is required to evaluate the performance and the effectiveness of the quality management system. The organization is also required to retain appropriate documented information as evidence of the results. Let's talk about subclause 9.1.2, customer satisfaction. According to this subclause, the organization is required to monitor customers' perceptions of the degree to which their needs and expectations have been fulfilled. The organization is also required to determine the methods for obtaining, monitoring, and reviewing this information. Subclause 9.1.2, customer satisfaction says under a note within the standard that examples of monitoring customer perceptions can include customer surveys, customer feedback on delivered products and services, and meetings with customers. This can also include market share analysis, compliments, warranty claims, and dealer reports as well. Coming to subclause 9.1.3, analysis and evaluation of ISO 9001-2015. According to this subclause, the organization is required to analyze and evaluate appropriate data and information arising from monitoring and measurement. This clause further states that the results of analysis is required to be used to evaluate conformity of products and services, the degree of customer satisfaction, the performance and effectiveness of the quality management system, if planning has been implemented effectively, the effectiveness of actions taken to address risks and opportunities, the performance of external providers, the need for improvements to the quality management system. Clause 9.1.3 under a note says that methods to analyze data can include statistical techniques. Let me now talk about clause 9.2, internal audit. Subclause 9.2.1 of the standard states that the organization is required to conduct internal audits at planned intervals to provide information on whether the quality management system conforms to the organization's own requirements for its quality management system and the requirements of this international standard. This clause specifies that the organization is required to ensure that the internal audit is effectively implemented and maintained to meet the requirements of the standard. Now, the subclause 9.2.2 states that the organization is required to plan, establish, implement, and maintain an audit program, including the frequency, methods, responsibilities, planning requirements, and reporting, which shall take into consideration the importance of the processes concerned, changes affecting the organization, and the results of previous audits. As per this subclause 9.2.2, organizations must define the audit criteria and scope for each audit to meet the requirements of the standard. Subclause 9.2.2 states that an organization is required to select auditors and conduct audits to ensure objectivity and the impartiality of the audit process. Organizations must ensure that the results of the audits are reported to relevant management. As per this subclause 9.2.2, the organization is required to take appropriate correction and corrective actions without undue delay to meet the requirements. Lastly, this subclause specifies that the organization is required to retain documented information as evidence of the implementation of the audit program and the audit results. It is also recommended that this clause under a note to refer to ISO 19011 for further guidance. Let's talk about clause 9.3, management review. The subclause 9.3.1 General states that the top management is required to review the quality management system of the organization at planned intervals to ensure its continuing suitability, adequacy, effectiveness, and alignment with the strategic direction of the organization. Coming to subclause 9.3.2, management review inputs. This clause states that the management review is required to be planned and carried out, taking into consideration the status of actions from previous management reviews and changes in external and internal issues that are relevant to the quality management system. As per this subclause 9.3.2, the management review is required to be planned and carried out, taking into consideration the information on the performance and effectiveness of the quality management system, including trends, as in customer satisfaction and feedback from relevant interested parties, the extent to which quality objectives have been met, process performance and conformity of products and services, non-conformities and corrective actions, monitoring and measurement results, audit results, and the performance of external providers. The management review is also required to be planned and carried out, taking into consideration the adequacy of resources, the effectiveness of actions taken to address risks and opportunities, and the opportunities for improvement. Now let's talk about subclause 9.3.3, management review outputs. The subclause 9.3.3 specifies that the output of the management review is required to include decisions and actions related to opportunities for improvement, any need for changes to the quality management system, and resource needs. As per this subclause, the organization is required to retain documented information as evidence of the results of management reviews. Friends, we have discussed Clause 9, Performance Evaluation of ISO 9001-2015. I sincerely thank you all for your interest and attention. Thank you and best wishes.